All right, they
Yeah,
ulted.
sure.
Walk
Yeah,
up,
okay.
walk up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna counter ult.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Boom. What up? What up? How you doing, Jam Fam? If you're expecting a face reveal Q&A, that is not happening anytime soon. I do apologize. Pero half of y'all know me IRL, and the other half do not follow the Instagram. So we couldn't get enough questions, and I didn't want to ask myself questions like, how narcissistic would that be? You know, I was thinking of y'all. I was like, yo, they want to be involved in the Q&A, man. Just wait till 1,000. You feel me? So boom, we get 1,000. You get a Q&A. Simple as that. Now we got a different little, we got a different little thing going on today, guys. This is a little diffy. I love lore myself. If you came here for the lore, shout out to you, all the lore heads. Stand the fuck up and you not. Nah, let me stop. But yeah, man. Shout out to my boy New Orleans. Me and him are gonna go through and read every single bio, like we always do. Enjoy. Ready to start?
I'm ready when you are.
All right, bro. Don't get stage right now.
I don't get stage fright.
I'm knowing. I'm knowing. All right, three, two. All right, we back to. We're gonna get right into this reading session. I'll start with Banks since she's my main, you know. All right, Anita Williams, age 40, homeworld, gridiron. Anita Bangalore Williams has been an exceptional soldier her whole life. Born into a military family where she, her parents, and her four older brothers all served with the IMC. She is dedicated to the cause and graduated top of her class at the IMC Military Academy. She was the only cadet who could take apart a peacekeeper, equip it with a precision choke hop up, and put it back together in under 20 seconds, blindfolded.
Hmm.
When the Frontier Militia attacked the IMC at the Battle of Gridiron, Bang was injured by a militia pilot and nearly lost her life. She narrowly survived when her commanding officer, her own brother Jackson, used an experimental device to power their ship's jump drive and escaped the system. They crashed hundreds of light years away on the planet Gaia. The surviving crew, including Anita and Jackson, built a settlement on the islands of New Antilla. Shortly after, Anita and Jackson left to begin their quest back home, or so she thought. A few years later, boom! Debris flying everywhere. A bomb on the outer hull blew out a chunk of their new ship. Anita watched helplessly as Jackson was into the vacuum of space. After crashing on the syndicate planet Solace, Anita looked for both work and the brother she refused to leave for dead. She had a single minded goal: get them both on the ship and begin the decades long trip back home. She started fighting in the Apex games in the hopes of earning the money and finding a pilot willing to make the trip back to Gridiron. Just when it looked like she would give up on Jackson and make the trip alone, she was ecstatic to find Jackson alive and horrified to find he'd been hiding from her. Living a double life as a small town hero called Nuke. She's finally found the brother she lost all those years ago, but her carefully laid plans are no more. And for the first time in her carefully planned life, she's truly in uncharted territory. Perhaps she can find some stability in a group of outlaws, soldiers, misfits, and misanthropes she's been getting to know.
All right, who's next? Revenant.
Caleb Cross,
Caleb
age
Crotch, age
359.
359. Homeworld unknown. Hey, I'm reading this.
Took too fucking long, bruh.
Anyway, Revenant used to be a human. He used to
Yup.
be the greatest hitman the mercenary syndicate ever had. He used to look in the mirror and see his human face looking back. But time changes everything, and when his programming finally failed, he saw what he had become at the hands of the mercenary syndicate and Hanon Robotics, a walking nightmare of steel and vestigial flesh. His masters resurrected him as a simulacrum, snatching him from death's embrace again and again and programming him to forget. He swore he would hunt down every last person who did this to him, but more than 2 centuries have passed, and they're all gone, or so he thought. He now wants the one thing he can't have, the sweet release of death, unable to die without destroying his preserved and heavily protected human head. He's on the hunt to find and destroy it. Of course, he doesn't mind eviscerating a few of the legends along the way. He used to need a reason to kill, but now he's
He's no longer that man, literally and figuratively. For all my English buffs out there, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Walter Fitzroy Jr.
age
Age.
55, homeworld
Shut the
salvo.
fuck
How do you think I feel? You interrupted me, mate.
up. Ladies man, man's man, and all around manly man. Fuse
Well,
is
that's
a
what all these are
laid
men.
back explosives enthusiast who's covered in things that go boom.
Shakalaka.
Sir, he may lack a plan, but he never lacks confidence. He grew up on Salvo, a brutal planet ruled by a rotating collection of misfit warlords bent on the mayhem, murder, and good times. For most of his life, he worked as a merc alongside his childhood friend, Maggie.
Mercenary.
But while she aspired to become one of Salvo's most powerful warlords, Fuse felt the pull of the arena. Fuse Walter Fitzgerald Jr. found his calling late in life
Hmm?
fighting in Salvo's
Oh.
blood sport, the Bone Cage. He proved to be the best, most charismatic, and beloved gladiator on the planet, but he itched to join the grandest stage of them all, the Apex Games. While Salvo remained a part of the independent space, that dream was impossible. But once they joined the syndicate, his chance arrived and he seized it. He knew Maggie, fiercely devoted to Salvo, would take the news poorly, but even he didn't predict how poorly. When he confronted with his choice to leave their home and join the games, the resulting scuffle cost Fuse his arm. That clash began a rampage as Maggie, intent on proving the syndicate was too weak to rule over her home, sabotaged an entrance into the games to make a statement. Fuse's response: don't threaten him with a good time. And that is a creed that he's lived ever since.
Cold.
Yeah, he's a bad man.
Dr. Azealia Reed, age 122, homeworld unknown, aka Ash.
Her name is Ashley, bro. It's Ashley.
Ashley. Okay.
What the fuck is Azealia, dude? Where'd you get that
Azealia,
from?
I don't know, it kind of looked like it, because, I mean,
Her
there's
name is
sometimes
literally Ash, nigga, and you said
trust me,
Azealia.
there are some women's names who are
I'm
like that, but the letters
confused,
are
bruh.
silent. Some of them be
Alright, bro.
silent.
Even then, it's Ashley, bro. You said
You want to read this
Azealia.
one? You want to read this one?
I will. Don't test me. I will. You want me
Please
to?
do it. Please do.
Dr.
I like to
Ashley
test.
Reed, age 122, homeworld unknown. I passed the fucking test. Now read the thing, bro.
Pass the test. Yeah. Anyway, born in the unforgiving frontier, Dr. Azealia Reed,
Fucking hell. This is
still
going
very
on
much a
YouTube,
human.
brother. This is
That's
going on
right.
YouTube. You're gonna get ripped to shreds in the comments.
Not ripped, more like funny moments.
Okay.
Anyway, learned very early that the only person who was going to look out for her was herself. A humble lab assistant by day, she spent her nights in underground fighting rings, drug dens, and in the company of mercenaries. Over time, she learned the joys of psychological warfare. If she could break an opponent mentally, the battle was won before she even lifted a finger.
Shout out to a Pacer player, unknown name still.
One day, she was hired by a mercenary group for a delicate job, steal an experimental fuel source being researched in the outland city of Olympus. It was the perfect job for Reed, who infiltrated and psychologically manipulated the researchers for years. She almost got what she wanted, but at the last moment, the researchers sacrificed themselves to destroy the lab. When it
Shout out
collapsed,
Horizon Sun and Pathfinder.
Reed died with it and didn't. Her brain was put in a simulacrum shell, but in the process she lost years of memories, and the trauma of her death caused her personality to fracture.
Shout out
Ash is
Amnesiacs.
the Shut the fuck up.
Who the fuck you
Just keep
talking to?
interrupting. You just keep interrupting. Oh my
I know
god.
it's
By
getting
the
under
edit,
your skin.
you're gonna have to edit that out. Edit that part out.
I ain't editing Nathan.
Ash is the embodiment of the cold, perfectionistic, power hungry side of Dr. Reed. After an encounter with Horizon overrides Ash's simulacrum programming, the framework that kept the vulnerable yet intelligent Leah.
Lay, bro. Ashley.
Leia!
Ashley. Ashley.
Incorrect!
Ashley. It's simple, bro. It's simple.
Incorrect! Anyway,
You never had
personally,
an
Dom.
Ashley in New Orleans or Louisiana? You've never met an Ashley?
What?
Have you ever met a girl named Ashley before?
Yes!
Alright, bro. I'm just making sure, nigga. Cause you acting stupid right now when you're not, bro.
What can you say? It's a Friday.
Friday. Everyone acts stupid on Friday.
Jesus, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway. Yada yada yada, get intelligent. Personally, Dorman has begun to crack. As joins the games to prove she has transcended all humanity.
All humanity.
Leia is
Determined to prove her wrong. Yay! He finally finished. Let's go.
yeah. Read the next one.
You
Read
don't
the
tell what
next
to do,
one.
bro. I do what I want, nigga.
All right, fine. I'll do it for you. Margaret Cohere, age 56, homeworld Salvo.
Margaret Cohere, because it's Cohere, the woman who would one day be known as Mad Maggie, grew up in one of the dustiest, dullest corners of Salvo without any family to speak of. She was fortunate to meet a kindred chaotic spirit in a young Walter Fitzroy Jr. The two were inseparable, and in their teenage years, they became mercs. Eventually, this duo
Mercenaries.
grew into
Want to
the
get on my
cracked
ass?
Talon, a powerful merc operation. It
Mercenary!
was here she earned her nom de guerre, Mad Maggie. But when rival warlord
Nandagiri.
Sandringham Kelly signed a treaty with their syndicate, Maggie's hopes for an independent Salvo were ruined, and Fuse abandoned her for the games, leaving Maggie very mad indeed. I mean, just look at her. She's never not mad. By sabotaging Fuse's entrance into the Apex games, Maggie planned to expose how weak the syndicate was, and in hopes it would spark rebellion on Salvo. Fuse assembled a team to take down Maggie, and in their mad quarrel, they finally saw eye to eye, face to face, with a bad case of revenge on her mind. Fuse will always follow the fun, and Maggie will always follow the cause. It seemed as though Maggie fell to her death after that exchange. If you trust your eyes, but she survived the perilous fall, and despite her best efforts, was ultimately apprehended by the syndicate. As punishment, she was sentenced to fight to the death in Apex games. So she will, just not hers. Insert ominous laugh.
Marcus Montgomery Brinkman, age 63, homeworld Gaia. August was the sole heir to the Brinkman fortune, built on shady backroom deals. But when those deals caught up with his parents, August was left a billionaire orphan. Wealthy, furious, and self-destructive, August joined the Thunderdome games, aka the pre-Apex games. Here, he took the name Ballistic and became a sensation. His style was wild, reckless, and utterly selfish, helping him become the very first Thunderdome celebrity. He was famed for his iconic car SMG, Lady Grey for the T. It was here in combat that August would meet the love of his life, Sok Ling. They would quickly marry and have a son, Nathaniel. Sok Ling and her brother Kit Seong were an inseparable duo of destruction. And with August now in their squad, they seemed unstoppable. But nothing lasts forever. August's crowd, pandering style meant he wasn't paying attention to his team when they needed him, leading to Kit Seong's death. Devastated by guilt, August retreated into himself, driven away his wife and son. For nearly 2 decades, August lived as a recluse, keeping busy with small tasks to distract a lonely mind. And so August was largely forgotten, though not by everyone. His son Nathaniel was both enamored with his father's victories and determined to surpass them. When his son qualified to join the dangerous Apex games, August went to the syndicate with an offer. Take me instead. His son would be safe in a path that ruined him. What better way to use those skills than in selfless service? And if it just so happens to be a favorite activity, eliminating all who stand against him, that's quite the fortunate coincidence.
Dum dum dum. Damn.
Next.
Pathfinder 877. Homeworld Samus. Pathfinder is the picture of optimism despite his circumstances. A Marvin, mobile, robotic, versatile entity with a talent for location scouting and surveying. He booted up decades ago in an abandoned warehouse with no idea who created him or why, with only his MRIVN designation to hint at his identity. Path eventually set off in search for his creator. Shout out to you if you can relate. Pathfinder has learned a lot in his travels since then that he was created by. I'm not saying I can relate, guys. My father's great. He's actually in my life. Always has been, always will be. Hopefully. That he was created by a group of scientists trying to save the Outlands from an energy crisis. How he was the only one to survive when their lab exploded. And he delivered the special element that achieved his creator's dream. How to make a mean Eastern Leviathan stew. I can smell it already. But his most important discovery was the sum
God damn
was
it.
that what the fuck? Oh, yeah, that was pretty funny, huh? Was that some of his spare parts were used to build another machine, a child of his own, out there somewhere. He originally joined the Apex games to gain a following and draw the attention of his maker, but now he aims to draw the attention of anyone who might know about his child. In the meantime, he remains enthusiastic and helpful, always ready to make new friends, then shoot them.
Rene Hoblazi. Ah, I get it. Rene Hoblazi, age 34, homeworld typhoon. Wraith is a whirlwind fighter, able to execute deadly attacks and manipulate space-time by opening rifts in the fabric of reality. But those abilities came at a price. Years ago, she woke up in an IMC detention facility with no memory of who she was. Senior silence pilot Renee Blasi, who volunteered as a guinea pig for her own experiments, whose partner betrayed her and locked her away, no longer existed. All that was left was a timed girl,
Timid kid.
frightened by a thank you. Timid girl. Frightened by a cacophone? What the?
Yep, you got it.
Cacophone? Jesus, what is this? Cacophony of voices in her head. Until another version of herself appeared and taught her to listen to what the voices had to say. Following her lead, Raid found the strength to break free from the prisons and escape into a different reality. This reality. Finally free but robbed of her memories, Raid continues her quest to learn more about who she was before the experiments. The Apex games tend to find a home on old IMC bases, making it an easy way to access ruins full of secrets that are otherwise out of reach. Raid competes so she can search these mystery facilities and continue to learn more about who she was. She remains a fixture of the Apex games, and with every match she gets closer to the truth, even if the truth about who she was is worse than she hoped.
What a joke! What a joke!
You all ready for the Ox Train?
Octavio Silva, 826, homer up, tonight. Octavio Silva was bored. In fact, he was so bored in those days. He was so bored in those days.
He's too fast.
Too quick. Dr. Mary Summers, age 39, give or take an extra 87 years, homeworld soulless. Almost a century ago, the Outlands were dangling on the edge of a cataclysmic energy crisis. Dr. Mary Summers, a charmingly eccentric astrophysicist, was hired to find a solution. Was hired to find a solution. I know I said hard, just roll with it, folks.
We
Mary
rolled
moved
it.
her
We
family.
rolled.
Mary moved her family to the scientific research station on Olympus and set to work. With the help of her apprentice, Jesus, these words are so tight, Dr. Reed, many discover brantium,
Yes, sir. Rathium.
an element she, an element she was convinced could be the key to limitless energy, but brantium can be found only on the acceleration disk of a black hole. So Mary and Dr. Reed departed on a dangerous mission to prove her theory right. Mary promised her son Newton she returned safe and sound, but Dr. Reed betrayed her, stealing the brutanium, what are these words, and sending Mary's shuttle into the black hole's orbit. Using her wits, Mary modified her robotic vacuum companion Newt to escape, but time moves differently on the outskirts of a black hole, and she was 87 years too late. From that day on, she had one goal: find a way to get back to her son. She joined the Apex Games as Horizon, Master of Gravity, to fund her research on time distortion and fluctuation. Her first foray into the games was on Olympus, where her old life once was and where she had promised to return. That wasn't the only part of her old life that found her again. A certain research assistant, older and now much more metallic, has darkened Dr. Summers' door.
This bitch. I just showed chat Ash, by the way. I just showed the people watching the video Ash. Carrie Imahara, 3031. Angelia is her homeworld.
Jolene?
Jolene, yeah. Yeah. Angelina Jolie. She bad.
Haha, get it? Because Angela. Alright. It's your turn to read.
I'm just letting the awkwardness sit. All right, bold, brash, fiery, and fierce. Carrie Imahara isn't above greasing palms and bending the law. When she was a child, she stole a Titan. It belonged to her dad, a mercenary and former apex predator named Viper. She wanted to be just like him when she grew up. I can relate. But the next day, he left on a mission and never returned. In some ways, she was still followed in his footsteps. It wasn't a Titan, but her ship helped her make a deceit dubiously ethical living.
Decent.
During the day, she smuggled precious cargo, and at night went shot for shot with the outlaws and mercs in the bar. See? Mercs, nigga. But even though she had her ladies, her liquor, and her love of the sky, she was still obsessed with finding the man who put her father in harm's way, his commander, Cuban Bliss.
Dun
She
dun
tracked Bliss.
dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Do you know what reference I'm making, by the way?
No.
A regular show, I think. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, I haven't seen that show in a minute.
She tracked Blisk down to the Outlands, prepared to kill him, but he spoke of her father with respect and challenged her to be better. She shot the motherfucker anyway, but not to kill. Knowing she could get to him was enough. Well, that and the Apex Predator card she took from Blisk's grass served a decent enough trophy. Using the intact flight core from Viper's North Star, she built a sleek new jetpack that honored her father's memory, and that was when Kyrie could finally soar on her own, an inner version of her dad's Titan that ended up being hers after all.
On to the Recon Legends.
Let's go. Let's get back into it.
Alright, starting off at Recon is Blue Honda. Age 40, homeworld Talos. Alright, let's get it.
Go for it, nigga.
I know, I'm just waiting for you. I had to wait for you to
Nice.
say that. The
For me to
Bloodhound
say
is
what?
known across the Outlands as one of the greatest game hunters the Frontier has ever seen. The child of two engineers stationed at the New Dawn industrial plant on Talos, Bloodhound was taken in by their uncle Arthur after a meltdown destroyed the facility and killed both their parents. Arthur taught them the old ways, a belief system that focuses on the glory of nature and rejects modern technology. Yet Bloodhound was constantly drawn to technological marvels, and ultimately used both new and old methods to take down a Goliath that preyed on the people of their village, forever changing their life's path. After Bloodhound's lover was unceremoniously
Damn,
killed
that's
in
a
the
big
Thunderdome.
ass word.
I know.
Unceremoniously killed.
Unceremoniously killed it in the Thunderdome. They vowed to win enough battles that they could both enter Valhalla. And the Apex Games were the perfect place for Bloodhound to accumulate victories.
Who is Bloodhound's
Many,
lover?
it was probably someone that died in the Thunderdome games.
Shut up, bro. Obviously, bro, I just read that with you, dog. But like,
It was curious. You asked a question, I had to try and answer. I don't know either.
okay, so we both done. I thought you, bro, you read more lore, bro. So I thought you knew, bro. I thought you knew.
This was, of course, a backstory. Not today.
Word. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Now, where I was before I was rudely interrupted.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Yeah. All right. Many things have changed since then. They have God, hold on. They have contended with their guilt over the loss of those they care.
Oh, sorry, I'm so rude. I'm so rude. Keep going.
Over the loss of those they care for, led their people to a new home, and found new love. But they continue to find a place in the games. Their unparalleled tracking skills are a boon. I thought that said boom. It said boon.
I don't know what that is. I've never heard that
The
word.
unparalleled tracking skills are a boon to any team they join, helping them root out hidden opponents and track enemy movements, calling on Earth's old Norse gods to guide them. Bloodhound believes that destiny is a path that has already been laid out, eventually carrying all to their death. But with that knowledge comes strength, because until the day comes, Bloodhound knows they can't be stopped, whatever they may encounter next.
Dude, I'm living the same life as Bloodhound, bro. On that last paragraph, at least.
Except
I
there's
think
not a
the
giant
stack
Goliath.
all the way up, all the way up, hey, all the way
Oh, I
up.
think you're gonna
Ty
like this
June Park.
one.
It's my favorite legend. At
One of your
least
many
character
mains.
wise. Many? Nah, I only got Three men.
Let's be real, you have more than three.
Name them.
Bangalore.
Exactly, bro. Ty June
Crippy.
Park.
Hey,
you're
I'm
actually gonna
naming
name
them. I'm
All right.
naming them. Hold on.
All
Hold
right.
on there, Jamarooney. Hold on.
I'm in.
Crypto, Bangalore, slowly starting to become Newcastle. And there you go.
You didn't even name Mirage, bro. What?
Mirage.
Mirage? Whoa. He's my third name.
Okay, fine. Mirage.
You see?
See, that's four.
1,655. Niggas don't remember when I used to solo queue ranked with Mirage, bro. I was that nigga.
I do that. I was the number one.
Nah, I'm better than you, Mirage. Stat for stat, nigga. Stat for stat right now. Put your banner up. Put your banner up.
Put your money where your mouth is then.
Put your banner.
All
Yo,
right.
man,
How
you're
many
too
kills you got
confident.
with
You're
him?
too confident. Nah, look, put your thing on Mirage real quick.
All
Now
right.
I'm nervous. Damn. Okay. Yeah.
Yes! Who's laughing now? Yeah, I told you, put your money where your mouth is, boy.
Ty June Park. Elias.
That's right. Read your story.
Hyun Kim.
See,
Age
Chad, I got him.
24. A year older than your boy. And how many years older than you?
3.
3 years. Homeworld Gaia. Crypto specializes in secrets. A brilliant hacker and encryption expert, he uses aerial drones to spy on his opponents in the Apex arena without being seen. He also has a secret of his own. He joined the Apex games to find the people who framed him for murder. An orphan
Dun
abandoned
dun
at a young age,
dun.
Tai Jun escaped a life of squalor by becoming a computer engineer for the mercenary syndicate, along with his foster sister, Mila Alexander. One day, Taijun and Mila stumbled upon an algorithm that could predict the result of any Apex Games match, hidden away in the game's own computer systems. That caught the attention of the wrong people. The next day, Mila disappeared and Taijun was forced into hiding after he was framed for her murder. He joined the Apex Games to clear his name, because sometimes the spotlight is the best place to hide. Along the way, he's uncovered hints of a conspiracy greater than even he predicted, and maybe greater than even he can conquer alone.
Seer. Obi Adolazum. I think I
Obi,
said that last name
Obi
horrible.
Edoliz, Obi Edolazi.
Obi Adolesium, age 27, homeworld Boris. Before his birth, it was foretold that Sia would bring pain and suffering to the world
Yep.
and the night. He was born a meteor barreled across the sky and struck Boris's moon. It was considered a bad omen, and when the pale blue eyes of Odi Adalasim opened, his community saw a cursed child. His parents did not. They loved him unconditionally because
This
they
is
saw
Superman, but in Apex, bro. What the fuck? I just realized that.
the true empathic, creative, and soul of their son. That is true.
Right?
They right, like the blue eyes. Of course, he's always missing is the invincibility and the flying laser
Bro, they
eyes,
stole
freeze
his
breath.
whole flow. That's fucking crazy. Like they stole his old. Whoever wrote this, I'm so sorry to say this, but you're lazy, bro. You just plagiarized like the fuck out of Superman, bro. All
Too
right, keep
much
going.
Marvel. I
Yeah,
said Marvel, I meant DC. What was that?
one sec.
Short intermission.
Keep going. I don't know what the fuck that is.
They even supported him when he was drawn to the theatrically of the arenas, a series of underground fighting competitions where he could express himself fully. What is a fight if not an adversarial dance? Ad-
Adversarial.
adversarial dance. At first, the crowds felt unsure about him, but over time, with each victory, the power inside him grew, and with it, his strength in the arena. As his reputation began to persuade him, a
Proceed.
strange thing
Proceed.
preceded him. A strange thing happened. The people in the crowd who were
Trodden.
down, downtrodden, outcast, and forgotten saw themselves in Sia. Soon, throngs of people would come out just to see him fight, cheering Seer on as their champion. This legend from the arenas made his way to the Apex Games as an icon of the shunned, the unaccepted, and the unbashedly original. Still,
Shout out, Spiro, aka New Orleans.
hey, hey! Still, there are those that continue to blame him for the deterioration of the moon of his homeworld Boris for many reasons. His curse, his underwhelming aid to the people of Boris, and now for bringing the games to the moon. He fights on to make things right, however he can.
Dum dum dum. My second favorite legend, story
Oh yeah,
wise, Xiomara Mara Contreras was born and raised on the wild ice planet Pagos. She's 19,
age
by the way.
19, aka the youngest legend in the game.
By her survivalist mother, Xenia. Mara proved gifted with a sniper rifle from the moment she was big enough to look through the scope and reach the trigger at the same time. The tight lipped Xenia could only get her chatty daughter to stop asking questions by giving her a scavenged copy of Encyclopedia Outlandica, which Mara memorized front to back. When Mara was 18, she discovered the wreck of the GDS Vantage. Inside, she found evidence of a shocking truth. Years ago, her mother was brought to the Pagos aboard a prison transport ship. Spurred by the intrusion, the ship collapsed into a crevasse, trapping a wounded Mara. By the time Xenia got to her daughter, the injuries were too severe for her to treat. To save her daughter's life, Xenia set off to the prison ship's Xenia set off the prison ship's SOS beacon, but was imprisoned once more in return. So to save her daughter's life, she got locked up. They won't let her out. Yeah, they won't let her out. She got locked up. They won't let
Oh
her
my
out.
god.
Oh, they won't let her out. Once Mara had healed, she visited her mother in jail, promising to find a way to get her out. At a loss for what to do, unable to return to her planet, and unable to fit into society, Mara's
Jambro.exe
eye
moment.
turned to the Apex Games. In it, she saw a situation she understood: survival, and a platform to draw public attention to her mother's wrongful imprisonment. So Mara took on the name Vantage and joined the games to rally support for her mother. But how will a kid from an empty, frozen tundra fare under the heat of the spotlight?
Only one way to find out. On to the
Gibraltar.
support legends. Big
We're
O
halfway
Gibraltar.
there.
Real name Makoa Gibraltar, age 32, homeworld Solus. Gibraltar is a gentle giant with a wild side, the son of two Sauruses, Search and Rescue
Dude, guys,
Association
I
of
am
Solus.
so exhausted. We're going. We're going though. This day is not even close to over. Let's keep going.
The son of two SARS, Search and Rescue Association of Solus, volunteers, he has always been skilled at getting others out of dangerous situations that are common in the Outlands. However, he only began to understand the value of protecting others when he was a teenager. One day, he and his boyfriend stole his father's motorcycle, took it
Also,
on a
I love you
joyride.
guys, so I want to, put out this content at a timely manner. So let's get it done.
One
Not
day,
gonna have to
he and
cut
his
you off,
boy
Spare.
It's fine. One day, he and his boyfriend stole his father's motorcycle, took it on a joyride, and got trapped by a deadly mudslide. His parents saved them, and his father lost an arm in the process. Gibraltar has never forgotten that sacrifice and has devoted his life to helping those in need. The Apex games didn't change that, but they changed what it meant. Many of Gibraltar's friends and colleagues had competed in the games for extra money, fame, and glory over the years, and some never came home. Gibraltar joined to keep them safe, and for the first time, his skills as a rescuer and his rebellious nature worked it together. He's now become an icon in the Apex games, putting himself in a line of fire to protect his squad and send his opponents running for cover. He's seen plenty in the games, and out of them, to challenge his upbeat way of seeing things, letting the love of his life take the fall for a mistake he made, only to meet him again and try to make amends. Watching his friends throw themselves into dangerous situations over and over again, and seeing ancient rivalries play out in painful ways. A few competitors have even tried to break his spirit for the fun of it, but Gibraltar is like a rock. They can try to move him, and he'll just smile and laugh. There are moments sometimes, damn, that you just want to rock. Buddy yada
Don't
yada.
start, please. AJ Shea, age 26, homeworld Samoth. AJ Shea, aka Lifeline, isn't someone you would expect to find in the Apex games. The child of a wealthy war profiteers who specialize in drone tech, she left home when she learned of the damage. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Her family had caused and enlisted in the Frontier Corps, a humanitarian organization. She since devoted her life to helping others and joined the Apex games to give more funds to those in need. So there's no one in the games is innocent. They all know what they signed up for, and every one of her victories means help for those in need. Lifeline has no problem engaging in the popular buzzword, or so she tells herself. She may seem sarcastic and callous, but deep down, she wants to help people and make the world a better place. If that means taking a few people down in the process, so be it.
Elliot with age 32, homeworld soloist. Mirage is the kind of guy who likes to stand out. The youngest of four brothers, he perfected the art of fooling around to get attention. The one thing he took seriously was Hollow, pilot technology. Introduced it to the illusion.
Pause.
What?
Fade might be one of Mirage's brothers, bro.
That could be! Apex Mobile legend Fade.
Let me look up his picture.
Maybe.
Cause don't he got the same hollow tech bullshit?
Yeah,
And their mama perfected it.
it is possible. We'll see down the
Yo,
line, I guess. We have yet to get a story from the Outlands from him already.
that's facts. But let me see a picture real quick. I'm describing to y'all so you could imagine it.
Anyway, introduced it to the
No, wait,
illusion.
bro.
Oh, fine.
How you spell this guy's name, bro? Because right now I got Fade from like the YouTuber Fade.
Wait, who? Wait, who you trying to spell?
Oh, it's no I in it. It's just literal fade. All right, like the word fade away. All right, he has like a hollow disc. It's just one though. I mean, it's not far fetched though. He really could be Mirage's brother, bro.
You never know.
You never know. All right, continue, my bro.
All right, let's see where we left off. Oh, okay. Introduced it to the illusion creating tech by his engineer mother, he pored over the mechanisms and learned all he could about them. Even when his brothers went MIA during the Outland Civil War, Mirage and his mother continued to develop hollow devices, and the work brought them closer. While working as a bartender to make ends meet at his very own bar, the Paradise Lounge, Mirage heard amazing stories from his Patreons about the Apex games and the wealth and glory that came with victory. As good as both of those sounded, he knew he couldn't risk leaving his mother childless until she gave him a set of customized hollow devices and told him to follow his dream. Mirage is now the life of the Apex games, outwitting opponents and charming audiences across the Outlands in front of cameras for the world and his mother to see. That was perfect, especially since that was my main.
Loba Andrade, age 36. But we're not worried about her age, guys. No, sir. Homeworld, none. She was raised in the streets, and forever in the streets she will be. When Loba was 9, she locked on as a simulacrum. Hitman
Looked
Revenant.
on, not locked on.
Oh, oh, word. Okay, when Loba was 9, she looked on as simulacrum. Hitman Revenant killed her family. Left with nothing, she survived by picking pockets. using every tool at her disposal to lift herself from the gutter, including an experimental jump drive, pilfered from a supposedly impenetrable research facility. She was just that good. With her new teleportation bracelet, the most secure and on the table items were within Loba's reach, and so was her dream of living the high life. Rumors spread across the Outlands. If you wanted something valuable and well guarded, Loba was your woman. She was
Woman.
almost able to put her past behind her. But when Revenant joined the games, her past catapulted her into her future. Desperate to find a way to kill him, she sabotaged a facility full of Revenant bodies, bringing the Skull Town and Thunderdome crashing in the process. However, she learned it was just one of many such factors hidden across the frontier. After finding out Revenant's wishes for death, she's made it her mission to keep them alive as revenge. She plays in the games to keep getting avenged on Revenant, but it doesn't hurt that the arenas are brimming with treasures just waiting to be swiped. You know what? I think they let her be the scapegoat for the most beloved POI in the game's history to be
Oh
destroyed
yeah.
because they knew that ass would distract all the haters from like
They.
imagine Caustic was the reason Skull Town was no longer around. You know?
Yeah, he could have made it like a nuke town or something.
Nah, but I'm saying like people would fucking hate him, bro. But no one hates Loba because she's bad. Simple.
The
Pretty
devs
privileged.
at Respawn Entertainment knew what they were doing making this
Yep, they knew
character.
exactly what they were doing with this
Woo!
storyline. The
All
fuck?
right,
Reed Jackson Williams,
Newcastle.
bro.
Newcastle, one of both of our mains, believe it or not.
Europe. Am I better?
Jax, yeah, you're getting better with them. One main to another.
Yeah, there. Thank you.
Jackson Williams, Elias Lamont Craig, age
Lamont.
41. Lamont Craig, age 41, homeworld gridiron. Lamont Craig was like other dads in the neighborhood.
Lamont.
Lamont Craig wasn't like other dads in the neighborhood. Sure, he dropped the kids off at school and acted out multiple voices every night for story time with his toddler. But Lamont, okay, you happy?
Damn right. Good
Had
shit.
secrets. The first being his real name, Jackson Williams. A top soldier for the IMC, Jackson went AWOL when he ignored direct orders to fight what he believed was a losing battle. He knew he would never be safe from the remnants of the IMC, and neither would his sister, Anita, as long as he was with them. So when he was presumed dead in a ship explosion, he used that opportunity to leave his life behind, even if it meant leaving her behind too. Years later, Lamont, why is that? Anyway, moved into the idyllic little town called Harris Valley, where he fell in love and got married. Harris Valley was so peaceful that they didn't need law enforcement. All they needed was their hometown hero and local knight, Newcastle. But the knight had secrets of his own. Newcastle had sold off the town to pay off his debts, and thugs from a gang called the Forgotten Families came to collect. Ooh. They killed at Newcastle when he couldn't pay. What?
Why was that
What?
funny? Why was that funny, bro?
I wasn't laughing.
You said forgotten families. Ooh.
You know, like a mystery because you be doing those little extras when you're reading. You know, I
True,
want
true.
to, keep it going. Anyway, they killed at Newcastle when he couldn't pay, unaware that Lamont was watching. He defeated them using his military acumen, but the Forgotten Families had plenty of reinforcements.
That's
So
Big Sister in
Lamont,
them, by the way.
yeah, I know.
Oh, just make sure. I didn't know.
Just
For sure.
yeah, in case chat you didn't know what he was talking about. Yeah, now you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Lamont came up with a dangerous solution. With Newcastle's armor, he could take on his identity and do what Newcastle could not: get into the Apex games, which took him at least over 40 tries to get in it. So yeah. With prize money like that, he could definitely pay off the debts, but not without the risk of being discovered by his little sister, the Apex legend, Bangalore.
Bang, bang,
And
bang.
that's it with the support.
The
Final controllers.
last section, guys. 4 more stories,
Controller.
and you can get
Controller.
on with your day.
Controller.
I know you're enjoying this. So sit tight for the next 3 to 5
Controller.
minutes, or don't.
Controller.
Either way, Alexander Knox, Elias Mikhail Caustic, and it's alias by the way. I know I'm just saying it wrong on purpose. Age 50, homeworld Gaia. Alexander Knox used to be one of the brightest scientists in the employ of Humbert Labs. The Frontier's leading manufacturer of pesticide gases, Knox worked day and night developing new formulas for the glut of the pesticides. For the glut of pesticides needed to protect the crops that sustained
Hey, yo,
the
yo, yo,
outlands.
my guy, slow it down, my guy, slow it down. You're doing great. Just slow it down. You're
But he
doing
soon
great.
realized that progress was being hampered by his testing methods. He needed to test on more than just inert tissue. He needed living subjects. As he toiled in secret, Knox began to see the beauty in his creations and their ability to destroy anything they touched. However, the head of Humbert Labs soon discovered his gruesome experiments, and their confrontation ended with the lab in flames. Now competing under the name
What was
Caustic.
that? What was that? Like a damn monster. What was
He
that?
put his gaseous creations to work in the Apex
Oh
games
my god.
and observes their effects with great interest. However, as much as he's tried to leave his old self behind, the trappings of his former life are squeezing through the cracks. A cop obsessed with hunting him down, a loving mother who has discovered his death was fake, a bitter enemy revealed to be his half brother. Yes, that's crypto, guys. And an
Yes, we know who
encroaching
that is.
sickness he may no longer be able to evade. For those who didn't know, that's crypto. Who knows how long he will be able to avoid such confounding variables?
And the cop that they mentioned was actually when Pathfinder got his legendary suit. The 1-2 buckle my shoe with the mastiff shot to those things. Yep, that's the cop.
Facts.
Anyway, Watson. Natalie Paquette, age 24, homeworld Solus. Natalie Watson Paquette is a familiar face in the Apex games, though for a different reason than most. Daughter of the games-led electrical engineer, she studied his manuals to stay close to him and discovered her calling at a young age. Though she could be completely distracted one moment and hyper-focused the next, electricity grounded her. It's ordered. Predictable flow made sense in a way that the rest of the world didn't.
Just
She
like my
devoured
bars.
every. Mhm. She devoured every book that she could on the subject, and eventually became such a skilled engineer that she was commissioned to build the
Yep.
Apex Games modified containment ring. That's right, folks. The ring in game is created by yours truly, Watson. Unfortunately, her father died the day it was revealed, leaving her alone. At her lowest moment, a group of competitors invited her to return to the arenas with them, assuring her she would always have a home. She now fights alongside her friends in the arena she helped build, destroying incoming missiles, recharging shields, creating fences, and using her pylon to silence fights that get too loud. Nobody knows the arena better than Watson. Anyone
Nobody
who
knows.
underestimates her Anyone who underestimates her is in for a shock. Up and speaking of her, World's Edge just changed. I just heard her
Yep.
say it.
Facts. Me too.
Oh
Ramya
yeah, cause
Parek. I don't know how to say her last name. I'm gonna be
Ramya
honest.
Paquette,
That's
Parek,
my guy
Paquette.
right here. This
I
this
think
my
he said
fucking
it.
guy right here. Ramya Parek. You feel me?
She's
Age
kind of
23.
bad though.
We both got the Jordan year going. You feel me? Homeworld Gaia. I cannot second that statement, boy. You diffy.
Man,
But
she got.
like, Rampart is a blue collar private business owner who doesn't need much to get by. Just a big gun, blah, 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 and a backpack full of scrap metal. Before opening her popular modding shop on Gaia, Ramil Parek, Rampart for short, made a name for herself in the underground gauntlet circuit. Parek climbed to the top of the ranks, showcasing pure skill and her custom modded gear. Shout out Big Mod. She began taking modded jobs from smugglers, syndicate members, and everyone in between. Some say it ain't great unless you got Rampart written on it. Shout out the wingman, you feel me? Parek never
Mm-hmm.
she shied away from letting people know how great she was, or better yet, how bad they were. Yeah, just like me, gangy. Maybe that's what led a gang of former friends, the sisters, to ambush her shop one night. Her business burned down, and she was left with nothing except an Apex card given to her by an impressed Cuban Blisk, KB for short. For Perec, the Apex card is more than just an invitation to compete. It's a sign that she may have lost her shop, but she didn't lose what built it. Like her motto says, she's the kind of person who can always turn crap into gold.
Ugh, time to turn crap into gold. Spot made mods, still leftovers from Wit's Bridge. I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the final legend, Catalyst. Real name Teresa Crystal Smith, age 30, from homeworld Boris.
Tressa Crystal Smith isn't everyone's cup of tea. An elegant, standoffish woman, she likes crystals more than she likes more people. As a teenager, she lived in a planned community on Boris, a faltering planet with a deteriorating moon. With all resources going to slowing their degradation, communities like these ensured safety and security. But efficiency and cooperation were essential. That never suited Teresa. She was more at home with fellow misfits who spent their time on crystal readings, moon rituals, and personal witchery. They supported her through self discovery and transition, making her turbulent teenage years easier and less lonely. But when her closest friend went to extreme lengths to save their moon from corporate encroachment, Tressa was caught in the middle. Police started looking for her, trashing her coven's clubhouse and going to her house. Not knowing what to do or where to turn, she ran as far as she could, finding solace in the one place her friend cared about the most, their moon, Cleo, no Patra. There she joined the terraforming crews hired to repair and rejuvenate the celestial body. She learned to work with ferrofluid and use it with a certain witchy flair. See how she's finessing that?
Yeah, I see it.
That's that ferrofluid. She grew attached with her new community, and when the heat on Boreas died down, brought some of her old friends back into the fold. She found a place to call her own, just in time for Apex Games to arrive and sweep it out from under her. Catalyst won't disappear so easily. If the games are going to get in her way, she's going to turn them to her advantage, putting the prize money to use supporting her family. She sees a win in her future and she'll rise to the occasion. That is it, chat. That is
That
it,
is it,
YouTube.
chat.
Thank you for joining us. Shout out to my fucking guy, New Orleans.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to plug in these last few seconds of the thing, bro?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who supports my friend Jam here on his journey to 1,000 Jammer subs. You
Jam
know,
famers, you feel me?
Jam famers, you know.
We lit.
Do him a favor, like, subscribe, hit the little bell so you never miss a video. And yeah, that's about it.
My boy right here also does YouTube. Go ahead and plug that real quick, bro.
That's Spectro, Spectro, just a couple of videos, you know.
You feel
Nothing
me?
special.
You feel me? Hey, bro. If you see Saints, that's the boy right there. Peace.